Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to share with you my watercolor palette and the sketch which I made using these colors. I love making watercolor sets. It's a separate hobby from my sketching process, and that's one of my favorite things to do. I love collecting different colors and then mix them together to check which ones will go well as a set. This set is not actually the one which I created on my own. I was inspired by Denise's Embrace Opacity palette, which California brand Vinci made with watercolor artist Denise Soden. She has her own YouTube channel where she shared the video about the choice of her colors in this palette and explained how these colors work together. I will put the name of the original set and artist name in the description below, so you can find her and check her website and Da Vinci's website as well. Since I already had most of the colors in my collection, I decided to create my own palette, and also Da Vinci only introduced the set with the half pens, which I personally don't like. I prefer to have bigger pens because I work with bigger brushes. For me, it's just more convenient to work with paints which are squeezed directly from the tubes. Also, original set has two new gray colors which are not available in the tubes yet, and personally I prefer to mix my own grays. In my experience, someone's signature gray colors never worked for me anyway. So the list of the colors I will leave in the description below. If you would like to use it, feel free to do it. In one of the next videos I will share with you how I create my own palettes which are not inspired by any other palettes, and will explain the whole process how to create your own personal limited color palette. I like then when the swatches of my palettes look nice in the sketchbook, so I always think through how I want to organize this swatch, and sometimes I even show some mixes which I can get using these colors. Also, in my all current sketchbooks I add the palettes which I usually paint with. In the second part of the video, I'm showing you a little bit of the watercolor process. I'm using this palette only, and as you can see, I'm sketching directly with the watercolor, adding some details with the watercolor or ink pencils. I found this way is a bit faster and more interesting for myself. I like painting directly with the watercolor. Sometimes I add some details with a pencil, but only if I need to make sure that the object is on its right place. I recorded this video in December. Before the Christmas I bought myself a bouquet of flowers with different greens. I like to buy flowers instead of the Christmas tree because whenever I don't feel inspired by anything else, I can always draw those flowers, and it is never boring for me because all those leaves gives me different patterns and I can mix them directly on paper. So I don't think about the composition, I just have that bouquet in front of me and draw something what I want. So after I satisfied with the watercolor sketch, I can add some details with the regular pencils. I can even add some white spots and some dark spots, so also with the pencils. I usually work with the pretty big brushes, so whenever I want to draw some small details, I just use watercolor pencils or even pens. So adding some highlights with the white pen and some highlights with the white pencils. After I finished the flowers, I decided to add window frame on the background because I wanted to use more colors from the palette. I really like this purple color. It reminds me of Daniel Smith Moon Glow. It is very similar to Daniel Smith color. This one called Artemis, and it works the same way. It has similar pigments with Daniel Smith Moon Glow, but maybe just this one has more strong green undertone compared to the Moon Glow. If in your area you don't have access to Da Vinci colors, you can just replace it with the Moon Glow and will be totally satisfied with that. Even though the colors in this palette are mostly very opaque, I was able to achieve very transparent and light result. I have a few more sketches which I made with this watercolor palette only. You can also check my Instagram to find more daily sketches and more updates with the process. Thank you for watching and see you in the next videos. Bye!